Hi everybody, I'm Shane Told from the band Silverstein. Actually, let me rephrase. I'm Shane Told from the emo band Silverstein, and today I'm going to tell you my top 5 favorite emo albums of all time. And I'm sorry to disappoint you, none of these are pop punk albums, these are actual emo albums. So I'll start with number 5. Number 5 is a band out of Canada called Grade. They are our hometown heroes, Burlington, Ontario's finest. Put out a couple great albums, but they put out an album called Under the Radar in the late 90s, which, very heavy kick drum now, which really changed my life, and I think without that album, Silverstein wouldn't be a band. So, number 5 is Grade with Under the Radar. Moving on to number 4, a very famous band, probably the first emo band I ever heard. They're from Wisconsin and they're called The Promise Ring with their very important album, Nothing Feels Good. It's a bit of a tough listen if you go back. It's not very well recorded. Most of the vocals aren't really in key, but it's got that emotion, it's got that feeling, and it's one of my favorite albums of all time. Moving on to number 3. Another huge influence and a very important band coming out of Kansas, the Get Up Kids, of course. Now, they have 2 really great albums that I love, but I'm gonna go with their album, Something to Write Home About. It was the more commercial sounding record. Doesn't sound commercial anymore when you listen to it, but just some incredibly written songs, and another record that really changed my life. No, not punk, play emo. All right, number 2. This is tough. This is a tough decision between number 2 and number 1. So, I don't know. These might be tied for first. Mineral, The Power of Failing. Just an incredible ride. Probably the most emotional album I've ever heard. It's just so brutal. Literally sounds like the guy's crying at some points in the record. But again, just an incredible album. Mineral, The Power of Failing. Which brings me to the number 1 emo album of all time. You know them, you love them. They're still doing great things, making wonderful music. Jimmy Eat World and their second full-length record, Clarity. It's a record that sometimes gets a little lost in the shuffle because Bleed American was such a huge album and such an important album, especially for the popularity of this style of music. But before Jimmy Eat World was all over the radio, they were making some of the best emo music ever. And Clarity is just a masterpiece from start to finish. It sounds amazing. It was major label budgeted, and it still holds up. And to me, that's my favorite emo album of all time. Thanks for watching. I'm Shane from Silverstein. By the way, we have a new emo album out too, right now. It's called Misery Made Me, and you should check it out right now.
Unseen, 'cause something strange has a hold on me.